Monday morning, everybody. Welcome to a celebratory Monday live stream. As you can see before me, I have some rather festive looking appliques. We had a lot of requests, understandably, to make some appliques that were birthday related. We had a quick poll of the family over the weekend to sort of see what imagery made them think birthday in particular. Obviously, cake won out, but balloons was a big one. And I also like bunting. I think bunting is really cute. It's something that always makes me think happy thoughts when I see it up. So I've created a little package of applique patterns. It is up in the Etsy shop. You can pop over and find it there right now. It's also today's sneaky sale. It will include the cake with the candles and the flames, the little balloon applique, the bunting, a whole bunch of diagrams and photographs and how to put them all together. And it's like a little pattern bundle. It also includes a copy of our free present, our gift wrap or Christmas gift applique coaster tutorial that we did quite a while ago. That's a free pattern on our website. So if you want to make a wrapped gift applique, we have a Christmas gift applique or coaster pattern written up. We did that back in 2018. It's available on our website on the free patterns page, the pattern workshop page. But just to keep everything in one little kit, I also tucked it in as a separate file. So when you pick up the applique collection, the little birthday applique collection, there will be that extra wrapped gift or gift present, whatever it's called, a little one-page applique pattern tucked into that bundle. So you've got them all in one place. You're not paying for it. It's free. It's considered a little bonus. So that's there as well. If you never got it the first time, you don't have to. You can you can save yourself a trip to the website. All right. I would like to thank Lynette before we get going for sending in a sweet super chat. Thank you so much, Lynette. Very much appreciated. And we've got the gifting ninja, Nico herself, in the chat, gifting a membership. Thank you so much, Nico. And congratulations to Kathy. Kathy's won it. Welcome back to the family. Looks like we are all good to go. The tech check has been completed by the mister. And we're gonna have ourselves a little birthday party today. Now, I ought to just clarify that it is not my birthday. My birthday doesn't come along until much later in the spring. But January is already in the books. And I know a lot of you have been working on our calendar unblanket project this year. Joanne, thank you for picking up the pattern. Thank you so much. And a lot of you asked for birthday stuff right off the bat. So I wanted to hurry up and get some birthday appliques done. And I thought, I don't know if we're going to get to all of these today. They're all included in the pattern, but I know the cake is most important. So I want to do the cake for sure. And maybe if we have time, we'll sneak in a couple of little live streams, or maybe I'll do a couple of mini tutorials just so you've got sort of access to the little bunting how-to and the balloon how-to as well. But I definitely want to get to the birthday. Happy birthday yesterday, Tracy. I know so many of you have had a little birthday lately, and that's great. So we're only a couple weeks into February. I'm already getting the birthday stuff out of the way. So if you want to add it to your existing unblanket projects or make a special unblanket rectangle canvas that just is all about birthday, baby, then you can do that too. You can make a whole birthday thing with the cake, presents, balloons, bunting, the whole 9 yards, and you can hang that up for the special day or anybody's special day. So let's get into it. I'm just going to put my little balloon. I just love this. This little balloon makes me so happy. And of course, when you embroider it, you can add a little string. You can do a straight string, a little wiggle. Maybe you can use embroidery floss or ribbon or cord or something special if this isn't going on something that's going to be washed a lot, like your unblanket project if you're making just the canvas. I think that would be really cute. That's all explained in the actual pattern. But anyway, let's get to it. So I'm using a 4.5 millimeter hook. So this is the size 7 hook. It's also okay if you use the 5 millimeter. It's okay. You know what? Actually, I am going to use the 5 millimeter. I'm going to use the 5, not the 4.5. Any of these hooks are fine. 4.5 millimeter, 5 millimeter, 5.5 millimeter. It basically is all to do with your tension and the yarn you're choosing. So if you're using a DK weight, you might find the 4.5 millimeter, even a G6, the 4.25 might be better. If you're kind of using size 4 medium weight, that's like the Red Heart, the Bernat, that stuff, then the 5mm or the 5.5mm. So the H or the I hooks are just fine. Whatever works for you. It will only adjust the actual size of the little pieces a very small amount. So this really just comes down to individual tension. Joya, thank you for picking up the pattern. Really appreciate it. And hello, Victoria. Victoria's in the house. Victoria's been a member for 14 months. Thank you, Victoria, with a membership milestone. And she says, good morning, InStitches family, and Jayda and Mr. InStitches. Hunkering down. Going to be cold this week. Awesome for crocheting. Yes, we are still in some pretty deep cold over here as well. So I'm happy to be in crocheting today. And speaking of being in and being happy, I want to make a point of inviting everybody over to Frizzy Bee Crochet's channel tomorrow. Frizzy and I are going to hang out and have a little coffee and chat in the, I guess it'll be 11 a.m. Pacific time. That will be 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern. We've got a link to it up on our posts tab. I will be reposting that a little bit later, so if you can always pop over and click the notify button so that you don't miss it. She's already got the stream set up, ready to go. And we're going to hang out tomorrow. So please feel free to pop over and hang out with us while we have a chat. And if I think Frizzy's in the, yeah, there she is. Hi, Frizzy. She's here. So yeah, that's going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon for me, tomorrow morning for everybody over on the Pacific Coast. Okay, sip on my coffee and let's get started. You can make your cake any color you want. I used white for my demonstrator, and I used blue icing because I just love a white cake with blue icing. I just think that looks so pretty. I also love the idea of a white cake with chocolate icing. And I would do that too, or make a chocolate cake with white icing, but the chocolate brown doesn't show up so well on the camera, so I'm going to just opt for nice bright colors today. Obviously, you can make your flames any color, you can make your birthday candles any color, you can make as many birthday candles as you want. There are 4 pieces to this little cake. So there's the main cake itself. It's a very simple, boxy little rectangle, so that's easy peasy. And we're going to start with that, nice and simple. I used size 4 medium weight acrylic yarn for all of this, but you can use whatever you've got on hand. It's a good scrap project. You need about 12 yards for the cake, maybe 6.5, 7 yards for the icing. This is all done in one piece. I used blue for that. About 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards each, just to include sewing yarn for your candles. So whatever colors you want to use for your candle, you only need like 1 yard or 2 for that, each candle. And the same for your little flames, about 1 yard per flame. You need very little for the actual flame itself, but of course there's always a little bit of yarn left over for sewing. So Amanda, thank you for picking up the pattern. So the little candles, we'll do those last. I'll just put those to the side. We're going to do this second. We're going to start with our cake. So I've got more white yarn over here. I'm going to stick with my white yarn just because it is easier for me to see. And it's easier for you to see as well, I'm sure. So here we go. We're going to start with the actual cake. So grab your hook, whichever hook you want to use, whichever yarn you want to use. We're going to start with a slip knot. This is super simple and basic. So if you are a beginner and you're kind of new to making appliques or you're new to crocheting, none of the patterns in this project are difficult. They all use really basic stitches and basic sewing. So even if you're new to sewing, it's very simple. We're going to chain 16 to begin. Nice and simple. So 16 chains, that starts us. We're using the half double crochet stitch. We're going to skip the first chain from the hook and half double crochet into the next chain. So your turning chain doesn't count as a stitch. It's just there to kind of get us to turn the corner. You're going to half double crochet in each chain all the way back, and you will have 15 stitches at the end of row 1. You'll have 15 stitches in each row. Each row will be half double crochet. So extremely simple. It is just half double crochet back and forth, chain 1 turn at the end of every row, and we're going to do 8 rows in total. So 8 rows of 15 half double crochet stitches per row. Super simple. We just want to make a nice chonky little rectangle, perfect little cake-sized thing. Chain 1 turn, you ignore your turning chain, it doesn't count as anything. Half double crochet into the first stitch, half double crochet in each stitch across. Mr. InStitches is busy puppy sitting this morning, as usual. She's been very good all day. She just woke up from a nap in my lap, so of course she's ready to play. So Mr. InStitches may be able to pop in once or twice, but we'll see. There we go. That is 15 half double crochet in row 2, chain 1 turn. Goodness me, Dolores, thank you so much for picking up the pattern. Dolores, if you have any trouble with the download, just holler. And that goes for any of you. If you have any trouble downloading the pattern, finding the file, just message us. We're always there to help. Sometimes, depending on the device you're using or the software you're using, it can be a little confusing to find the download. Especially if you're using a mobile, but it is accessible. It's just sort of, sometimes you've got to do a couple of extra steps, but we'll walk you through it. And if you open up your email, there's always a receipt in your email, and our download instructions are always included in the receipt as well. So you should be able to find that without any trouble. Goodness gracious, Susan! Susan is in the chat. Susan has just dropped one of the most nicest, sweetest, loving super stickers. Thank you so much for the super chat. That is awfully generous. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Susan. No little message. Just let us make sure we give that a gigantic heart, Mr. InStitches. Thank you so much, Susan. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate the support. Thank you. Chain 1 turn, 1, 2, 3, I'm after 4 rows already, I'm halfway done. You want to do 8 rows in total, 15 half double crochet stitches per row. Golly, Susan, thank you so much. That was so generous. A very happy birthday to you, if it's your birthday. We've got some people listening to us while they're at work. That's fine and dandy. I for briefly had a job where I could do that. I could sort of listen to things while I worked. It was a lovely way to kind of keep my brain active while I was busy sticking numbers in boxes. Maria has a pattern question. Hi, Maria. Maria purchased 4 patterns this morning. Yes, I saw them. I have not showed up in my email as of yet. Okay, well, let me see. You can also just log into your Etsy account. Oh, check your spam folder. That's another thing, my dear friends. Sometimes your email software will identify something like, Pam, thank you for picking up the pattern. Thank you so much. Will identify emails coming in from Etsy because they have links in them. They might identify them as spam and put them in the spam or junk folder. So double check your spam or junk folders. Also make sure you're using the correct email. If you have multiple email accounts, check them all in case you set up your Etsy account a long time ago with like a different email. Meg, thank you. Thank you, Meg. Thank you so much for picking up the pattern. So check all your email accounts if you have more than one in case you used another email. And if you only have one email and it's not in the junk account or the spam folder, make sure that you haven't maxed out your message saving space. That's another reason some things might not come through. And if all else fails, just message us. You can always log into your Etsy account and go to your purchases and receipts, find the receipt, and your download button will be right there as well. It's a little more, if you're using a mobile device, you got to make sure you're not in the app. Log out of the app so it doesn't shove you into the app, and log into your Etsy account using your browser, your internet browser, and you can do it that way. And if all else fails, message us. We can help you out further. It's kind of what we do. 2, 4, 6, 8. That is 8 rows of half double crochet. Each row has 15 stitches in it. And when you're finished, do not chain 1 at the end of row 8. You don't need it. just leave yourself a nice long tail, like 45 centimeters, 36 inches, something like that. If you don't want to break out the ruler, this is how I often figure out how long to cut a sewing tail. I wrap the yarn loosely around the entire outside, and then I do it again, and then I do it a third time. And that's usually about as much as I need to sew down the applique, and then I fasten off. Masha! Hello, Masha! Masha's in the chat with a very generous super chat. Thank you, Masha. Masha says, hi, I'm happy to hop in. I'm going to have to watch the rest later. I love to listen to audiobook while I work or do anything really. Crochet is the perfect companion to audiobooks. You know what? It's so true. I also love to, I love to paint furniture. We've got a lot of wooden furniture that I am in the process of giving an overhaul to. And I love to just set myself up in a room, open the window, start painting, open up that can, and then they turn on an audiobook, and oh my gosh, it is just, I just get whisked away. The time flies. I get a whole bunch of work done, and I listen to a great story at the same time. Same thing goes for good podcasts. I love that. All right. I have 2 cake bases now. Yum, yum, yum. I like to weave in the short tail. So you can weave it in on the wrong side. So decide which side you like to be the front, and then flip it over and weave that little short tail in underneath the stitches of the first row on the back. Mr. InStitches is hitting the ding. I don't know if that was from Masha or he's just that was from Masha. Yep. Thank you, sweetie. Okay, I've got 2 cakes. Because I have the white out, let's quickly make a candle. So the candles look like this. They're very, very simple. Candles are, I'm using white for my candles, but obviously you can use whatever color you want. You know, birthday candles can be really happy colors. You can also make them like in a color. You know how those, I don't know if they still make them like this. I'm picturing, I haven't seen candles on a cake in so long, but you know how like you make them pink in the 80s and they had like little white lines across them? You could do that too. In fact, have I got pink here somewhere? Of course I do. Let's make a pink candle. Goodness me. Mary Jean, thank you so much for picking up some patterns. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, my darlings, let's go. I got a little bit of leftover pink scrap yarn here. I'm going to show you how to make a pink candle, and just for fun, I'm going to put little lines on it. Those lines, it's like those they had like it's like they were pink and blue and green and yellow, and they had a little white line just sort of twisting its way down the end of it. Does anybody else remember those? So for a candle, we're going to chain 8. Using any color you want. So 8 chains, skip the first chain from the hook, single crochet into the next chain, single crochet in each chain all the way back. You'll have 7 stitches, just all single crochet. You can make them taller if you want to. You can also make them different sizes if you want to. Maybe some of your candles are burning faster than others. So it's just a little line of single crochet. That's your candle, super simple. Cut yourself a nice long tail for sewing. So I don't know. Again, wrap it around it 3 times loosely, and that will give you the general length that you need. Flip it over and weave the short tail in on the back. So I like to get my needle underneath the stitches first, then grab the little tail and pull it through. There we go. So here's my little candle. Now, what happens if I take a little bit of white yarn? Don't need much. This might look better with a slightly thinner yarn or an embroidery floss, but just to give you an idea, because I'm thinking of those little birthday candles from when I was a kid, I'm going to bring my yarn in on the bottom corner and on an angle, go up 1 and then over here and then go over here So I'm just kind of skipping a stitch every little. They might be too steep. Let's try a different. Let's try a slightly less steep. Again, I'm already thinking it would look better with embroidery floss, but this is just an experiment. Hello, Laurel. Laurel's been a member for 23 months. Thank you, Laurel. Laurel says, I just love this yarny community. Oh my gosh, so do I. Everybody here is so sweet. Best community on the internet. I know I say it all the time, and I know lots of other people with great communities say that too. And that actually just makes my heart happy to think that there are so many people who are just so sweet, coming together to make nice little communities on the internet. That makes me very happy. But, you know, I am a little biased. I'd say ours is definitely the best. Okay, so I'm just going to go on less of an angle. Yeah, this kind of looks like that. Kind of looks more like a party, doesn't it? There we go. Now, there does not need to be any like tails left really on this. What I would do is once I like sort of the embroidery that I've got on that little candle. Yeah, I like that. Makes me think of the 80s. I would just flip it over, loosely bring my sewing or my embroidery thread down underneath those stitches to the bottom. Knot those two little ends together, so don't pull too tightly. Knot the two ends together, trim all of the tails on the embroidering color, so in this case white. So nice tight knot, and then trim it really, really small, like that. Put that over there. And then when I'm sewing down this little candle, oh my gosh, that's so cute. When I'm sewing down the little candle, I'm just sewing down, the knot will be tucked in underneath it. Yay, the 80s are back. Yeah, I like that. So a little bit of embroidery, why not? Nice and simple. Hi, Diane. Diane's been a member for 46 months. Thank you, Diane. With a membership milestone, Diane says, hello, Jayda and Mr. InStitches. Love you both. Jayda, I have learned so much from you. Thank you, Diane. Thank you so much. Well, I have to say, the inspiration is just swirling. I knew you guys wanted some birthday imagery. I asked the family members on the weekend what sort of said birthday to you guys. You had a whole bunch of great suggestions. I figured cake would be chief among them. But, you know, little things like I didn't think of balloons. Wrapped gifts had, for some reason, escaped my mind as well. And I haven't looked at it in a few hours, but I didn't see anybody actually say bunting. But I was thinking bunting for some reason. So I was excited and eager to start designing all of these things. And I got to that yesterday. I absolutely love this balloon. This balloon makes me so happy every single time I look at it. I love the little mini bunting because I love little minis things. And this cake is making me happy. And now I have a pink 1980s candle. I'm super excited. Masha says, not just the 80s, I had those candles. I think that's probably like a standard birthday candle, but you know what? It's been a long time since I put birthday candles on a cake. But I love them. Yes, Targia says, maybe you can put some cotton wool or gray fluffy wool on the candle for when you blow out the candle to make a wish. Love that idea. You also don't have to make the little flame. The flame, you can, so I loved literally trying to crochet every little tiny aspect of it. But if you wanted to embroider a flame, or use like, depending on what kind of the project is, if you wanted to use like a little bit of fluffy wool instead, either gray because you just blew it out and it's smoke, or like, you know, needle punch in some yellow, orange, red, a little bit of white, something like that to make a little flame. Obviously, you can do that too. Embroidery, those options are all on the table, but I did make a little crochet version, which I'll show you right now. So this is the little flame. Let me find my yellow yarn. So I used a DK weight for this. It's technically a size 4. This is considered a size 4, but to me, it seems skinnier than some of the other yarns I've used, although it's about the same weight category as that pink I used, which is definitely a size 4. So again, same yarn, it's just that sometimes yarns inside the same category kind of, they all act a little bit differently. So if you feel like your yarn is particularly small, you might want to downsize your hook to make it less loose looking. If your yarn is thicker, but you don't want it to upsize too much, downsize your hook to make your stitches tighter. That'll just make your thing a little bit smaller. So you can play with your hooks and your yarn inside the same weight category to alter the size. And a good example of that is this. These are all of my little bunting triangles are all a size 4 medium weight yarn. This is a hair thicker than this. This is actually thicker than both of these. I used a 5.5 millimeter or an I9 hook for this guy. I used the 5 millimeter for this one, and I used the 4.5 millimeter hook for this one. So same weight category, just the slightest variation in size between these 3 triangles. So something to keep in mind, you know, if you want sort of something a little bit smaller, snugger, go down a hook size. If you want it a little bit bigger, go up a hook size, and you don't have to mess with the pattern at all. Good to know. Okay, let's make the little flame. And this is fine. This is actually a good order to do this in, because the actual icing on the cake, if you were like putting all this down, you would do the candle and the flame. You would stitch down the cake piece first, then your candles, and then you can do the flames later or at the same time as the candles. But you put your icing applique over top of everything at the end. So if you're a little bit messy along here, or you've got little tiny tails you need to hide down here, it's okay. It's going to be hidden by your icing. But you would sew down the cake first, sew down the candle next, and then your icing goes on top. So just so you know. But this is how we make one of these little flames. I'm just going to put this to the side. So take your flame color, make a small cinch circle, small as you can. So I just loop my yarn, I hold it, chain 1, that secures it. Nice little small circle. If you have trouble making them small, just make them regular sized. It's okay. I just like to make them as small as I can when I don't need them to be very big, because it just makes them easier for me to handle while I'm crocheting. You want to single crochet 4 into that circle. Make sure you're working over top of the little short tail, and then cinch it up nice and tight. Then you can join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet you made. I'm just going to sandwich my little short tail in there. So you've got a tiny little circle of 4 single crochet. Tiny little circle. Then you can you can chain 3. So you've joined with a slip stitch, chain 3, skip the first chain from the hook and slip stitch into the next chain, single crochet into the last chain, that's the 3rd chain, and then slip stitch into the next stitch along. Actually, you know what? I've made one small error. 1 second. Yes, you want to join that row with a slip stitch. Sorry, gang. Ronald and Kathy Jones are in the house. Let me take a break. Make your cinch circle, 4 single crochet in it, cinch it tightly shut, join with a slip stitch. Hang on 1 second as I thank Ronald and Kathy. Hello, cousins. With a very generous super chat, Ronald and Kathy say, good morning. We're back and flawless. Yay! I'm so glad you guys are feeling better. Good to hear your voice and love the cake. And say hi to Mr. and Penelope, your cousins from the south, Kathy and Ron. Thank you guys so much. Hello to the Mr. and hello to Penny. I'm sure she would appreciate the hellos and the pats. She's very friendly. And being a small dog, she just really loves to be remembered. Okay, instead of chaining 3 first, I want to single crochet into the next stitch. Oh, there she is. She's clawing at the door. That's hilarious. It's like she heard me say her name. So do not chain 1 at the end of the first row after you slip stitch, just single crochet into the next stitch. So we want that to be tight. Single crochet into the next stitch. Now we can chain 3. We'll skip the first chain from the hook, slip stitch into the second, single crochet into the next stitch, and then you can slip stitch into the next stitch along.
Our CPO says you She has a business meeting.
Yes, the CPO's here. Hi,
Chief,
Tammy. Welcome to Vicuña. Thank you so much for joining the family.
Chief Puppy Officer.
Our CPO, our Chief Puppy Officer. She want to come say hello?
She wants to say hello.
Okay.
But she gets so rangy when I walk around here.
She gets crazy.
Should I put her on the table?
It's a bit messy for that. Hi, you. All right, we can try.
She's gonna make an absolute mess.
Face? No, you're gonna. No. All right, monkey. Hi, sweetie.
She needs to conduct her puppy business.
Hi, baby.
She's making an absolute mess.
She's literally clearing the thing with her tail.
Wow, good job, CPO.
Hi, baby. Hi, sweetie. Hi.
Okay, now you know what's going on.
Hi, baby. All right, off you go. Thank you. Oh my gosh, look at all the little furs she got.
Good job.
So cute.
She did a great job on that
She
table.
cleared the table. That's hilarious.
Good job, Penny.
Oh my gosh. I love this dog. All right. Where was I? I gotta literally find everything. Okay. We've got our candle. Candle, cake, existing flame. All right. So, where was I? Pardon me. Cinch circle, 4 single crochet in the circle, join with a slip stitch, and then no chaining, single crochet into the next stitch, chain 3, slip stitch into the second chain from the hook, single crochet into the last chain, and then slip stitch into the next stitch along that first row. So you've got kind of like a little funny point. Then we're going to do this thing where we take our hook out, insert it from the wrong side to the right side, grab the working yarn, the little working loop, and pull it to the back. And the reason we do this is so you don't have like a little slip stitch or anything sitting on the front, and you can really you can shape your little flame. So then once you've pulled it back there, you can fasten off, leave yourself a tail for sewing. So snip the yarn, and I'm going to just make sure that's nice and tight, fasten off, and everything will be on the back. You can also take a moment to weave in that little short tail, and I will take a moment to thank Bethany. Hi, Bethany. Bethany has been a member for 71 months. Thank you, Bethany, with a membership milestone. She says, good morning. Still working on the January block. That's no problem. That's the beauty of this project. You can work on everything for as long as you want, or if you're super inspired, as quickly as you want to. You can preload all of your canvases, or wait and make them as you see what I'm up to. I love this project for that. I love the idea of the birthday applique. I am so glad to hear that. Been busy with babies, so baby stepping this project. LOL. Lots of love always. I'm eating breakfast and watching today. That is fantastic. We're just happy that you're here, Bethany. What was that, sweetie?
Tammy, new member?
I got Tammy.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Thank you again, Tammy. Yes, Mr. Stitches wants to make sure I didn't mess you. Yeah, maybe you're busy with other little life bundles of joy, and that is another reason that this year's project is great. You can move at your own pace, you can do what you want, and it's very possible, Christine, thank you for picking up the pattern. It is very possible that you may have ideas over the course of the year. You may want to go back and add other things to your canvas. You may want to make additional canvases. They're so quick to make. Why not? Why not have a couple of Januaries? Maybe you're going on a special vacation this year and you don't usually do that in March, let's say, and you want a beach vacation for March. You want to remember March 2025 because you went on vacation. But then you also kind of want to do like a March generalized one because you're going to have different months of March. Maybe you want to put up 2 to remind you of March. This is entirely up to you. This is your calendar unblanket project. The sky is the limit. It is all about using up scraps and having fun. This is all about fun this year, which is why it's fun to make birthday appliques. So there's your little flame. You can always add one to, like, you make your little candle, put your flames on. I really like this little birthday candle. That makes me so happy. Okay, let's make some icing. I'm going to use, let's see, what color have I got? I used blue icing because I liked the photos, but because I have a blue background, I'm going to do a different color for the icing today. That pink shows up, but I don't think I have any more of that pink. But I do have this lovely mess. I think I'll use this. Why not have multicolored icing? You guys just need to see the stitches. So here we go. I'm going to clean up a little bit. I'm going to put my pink back in my pink bag. And I am still using the bag system. Absolutely love this. Keeps things neat and tidy. Alrighty. Are we glitching out? It doesn't look like it's glitching over here. I'll pause for a second. I mean, it's still running on my side, sweetie. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Let's make ourselves some cake icing. This is the piece of the cake applique that you would put on last. So after you've stitched down your cake, you've stitched down your candles, you can do your flames at the very, very end, but you have to make sure you have your icing go on after you've stitched down those two things. And this is how we do the icing. Grab any color you want for your cake icing, make a slip knot, and let's chain 18.
Did you get a gifted membership from Nico?
Not right this second. Did I miss Nico? Nico. I did. I missed it. Nico. Sorry, Nico. She's such a good ninja. She sneaks into the chat and back out again, and I don't even see her. Nico has gifted another membership. Thank you so much, Nico. And one Skeen Short has won it. Congratulations. Welcome back to the family. Thank you again, Nico. And thank you, mister, for reminding me. Gotta check. So I'm at 6. I want 18. All right. 18 chains is where we start for our cake icing. Yum, 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 yum. And here we go. We're going to use the half double crochet. We're going to skip the first chain from the hook, half double crochet into the second chain. So your little chain 1 at the end doesn't mean anything. It's just to turn with, so it doesn't count as a stitch. Half double crochet into the next chain. So you've half double crocheted into the first 2 chains. Now we're going to make an icing drip. There's 2 different drips, and we're going to alternate between them. One's short, one's long. The first one is the short one. We're going to chain 4. So right off the top of that half double crochet you made, you're going to chain 4. Again, skip the first chain from the hook, half double crochet into the second chain, single crochet into the next chain, slip stitch into the last chain. So there's your little drip. Now, you want to anchor it in a way that it doesn't leave a gap. So this is what I like to do. Right into that last half double crochet I made along the main strip of chains, I'm just going to slip my hook right through that half double crochet and slip stitch. Doesn't hurt the stitch. It just anchors your little drip and it will not create a gap. We're going to half double crochet now. We're back to our foundation chain. Half double crochet in each of the next 3 chains. So 2 half double crochet, made a little drip. It's going to want to roll on you, so don't worry about it because you'll fix that when you're stitching it down. Half double crochet in the next 3 chains. Let's make a long drip now. We're going to chain 5. Skip the first chain from the hook and half double crochet into the next chain. Single crochet into the next 2 chains. Slip stitch into the very last chain, and same thing, you're going to look at that half double crochet, the last one you made along your foundation chain, stick your hook right through it and slip stitch to join. It just anchors your drip and it stops there being any kind of gapping. Half double crochet now into each of the next 3 chains, and then we're going to repeat that whole thing all over again. We're going to make a short drip, and then half double crochet in the next 3 chains, and then a long drip, and then half double crochet in the next 3 chains. So short, long, short, long. So there we are so far. Looking at it the way it's going to sit on your cake, it looks like this. I'm really digging this multicolored icing. All right, a short drip. Here we go. Chain 4. Half double crochet in the second chain from the hook. Single crochet into the next chain and slip stitch into the last chain. Then you're looking at that half double crochet from the row there. Just put your hook right through it and anchor it with a slip stitch. Then we're back to our foundation chain, half double crochet in each of the next 3 chains. So we've got a short drip, a long drip, a short drip. We want to make a long drip now, chain 5. Hello from Italy, says Massimo. Hello. Hello from Canada. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 5 chains, half double crochet in the second chain from the hook, single crochet in each of the next 2 chains. Slip stitch into the last chain and then anchor it in that last half double crochet. So you've got 4 drips now. We're going to half double crochet in each of the next 3 chains. And we've got 1 more drip to do. So again, if we're looking at it the way it sits on the cake, you've got 4 drips so far, short, long, short, long. We're going to do another short drip, so chain 4. Half double crochet in the second chain from the hook, single crochet in the next chain, slip stitch into the last chain, and anchor it with a slip stitch in that half double crochet. That'll leave you with 3 chains left. You're going to half double crochet in each of them. And that is the main part of the icing, but we're not done yet. So I'm just going to pause there while everybody catches up. Make sure I haven't bumped anything. Okay, so we've got the main part of our icing. It's going to hang, it's going to sit like this on top of our cake. Let me just get that little sewing tail out of the way. What a fun icing. And of course, we want to make sure that it's a little bit wider than your cake is, because icing is supposed to look like it just sort of coats the top and kind of fluffs out the side a little bit. It gives it like a little bit more dimension. Don't worry about your drips wanting to roll, because as you sew them down, when you go to sew them down, you would be sewing all the way around them anyway. And then you can position them how you want them to look. But we want to sort of finish off the top. We want to make that bit of icing a little thicker, a little yummier. Hello, Katie. Katie's in the shop. Hanging out in the chat. Katie's here. Been a member for 52 months. Thank you so much, Katie. Katie says, hi, 3 emotional support pickles in the stash. An emotional support pickle. I love it. I think everybody could use an emotional support pickle and possibly an emotional support potato at the same time. Potatoes and pickles. Both start with P. Both are very tasty. Good to see you, Katie. All right. Once you've finished the last 3 half double crochet, you're going to chain, but you're going to like make it kind of a tall chain. Like it's not a typical, like just chain a little bit bigger than you normally would. Give yourself like a little bit more loop action, because you're going to single crochet into the base of that last stitch. Because now we want to single crochet all the way across the bottom of that foundation chain. So you'll have 17 stitches all together, excluding your drips, 17 half double crochet all the way across. You want to single crochet now into the base of each of those stitches, so you have 17 single crochet all the way across. So just single crochet. I'm going to work over top of that little tail, and if by making that little chain a little longer, just giving yourself a little bit more like length, a little more room to breathe, you're just going to nicely curve around the edge, and then you can just single crochet in the bottom of each of those foundation chains. I'll get a few in here and I'll show you what the edge looks like. And this gives us a nice, wow, that is very candy like, but that gives us a nice rounded edge, and it looks like a smooth icing along the top and then down the side of our cake. So single crochet in each stitch across, that'll just finish off the top of our icing very nicely. I see the Chocoholics Anonymous in the chat. Mr. InStitches was asking for more brownies yesterday. I think I might make more brownies today. I could probably use some chocolate myself. It's just that time of year. It's the month of Valentine's, so, you know, I love getting busy in the kitchen. I've already made a plate of brownies. I made cinnamon buns with icing yesterday or the day before. And the sweet tooth has not been satiated, so more to come, I think. All right. Once you've single crocheted in each of those foundation chains all the way across, that's it. If you want, you can sort of just slip stitch into the edge if you want to make it just look a little rounder to kind of match the other side. But that depends on, you know, how it looks to you. And then leave yourself a nice long tail, 45 centimeters, 36 inches, something like that. Even longer if you think you need it. It's always better to have too much sewing yarn than not enough, because trying to knot more sewing yarn in along the way is really annoying. And of course, you can always put the stuff you trim back in the stash for use later. And there you go. Fasten off. And that is your icing. Gee, that's fun. So now we've got a little, this is so cute. I've got a flame. I've got a little candle. I made it pink with stripes because why not? Every one of these little pieces has a sewing tail. Hello, Vima. Vima's Crochet in the chat. Vima's been a member for 51 months. Thank you, Vima. And her membership milestone says, "Hi, Jayda. What a beautiful idea. Love it." Well, we love you, Vima. Thank you so much. I really hope that you guys get a kick out of using these. And of course, remember, it's not just for your unblanket. Appliques are great on anything. You can put them on regular blankets. You can put them on sweaters. You could put them on big granny squares. In fact, I have a big granny square right here. If any of you made our fancy granny square night 2017 calendar blanket along with us, I made like a solid colored version of it, identical to the construction of the other ones, because a lot of people wanted like a blank square to sometimes go like sort of image blank, whatever. I have a pattern for this up in the Etsy shop, and this is also this is a 12-inch square. It's solid, it's fun, and of course you can, you know, you can make your own individualized fancy granny squares. Look at that. I've got a birthday cake granny square just like that. Woohoo! I might even do the little bunting along the edge. So yeah, if you wanted to design your own, like if you wanted a nice big 12-inch granny square with a sort of a blank canvas style, great for joining. We have a pattern for this. It's our solid colored, I think, fancy granny square. It's basically just a blank canvas. I can probably put it up top in the shop. Let me see if I can do that right now as I'm talking. Because I hauled it out because I wanted to kind of use it as it gives me sometimes an idea of like the size and the shaping of things. And this is also just really, really cute. You could also, if you wanted to, if you were just going to highlight this cake, make the first 6 or 7 rows of, make the first 6 rows of this square in like yellow or a bright happy color before you went to the background colors. Like the regular squares in our fancy granny square collection. And then it would sort of backlight your little cake. I just think that is so cute. All right, there it is. Solid color circle centered granny square is the name of it. I'm going to put it up in the shop up top so you can all find it. And I'm just going to bump something out of the way here. I will take, so I just want to go to, oh, that's what I want to do. Sorry, gang. Give me one little second here. There we go. Okay. That should do it. All right, so if you're looking for it, I think I've just put it up top, so you should be able to see it. I hope you can. But if not, it's called the Solid Circle Centered Granny Square. It's a 12-inch square, and it's great for making your own personalized fancy grannies, if that's what you want to do. Like I said, I hauled it out because I've been using it to kind of get an idea for scale and whatnot. That makes me happy. That's really, really cute. So it's also good for demonstration purposes. If you were going to sew this down, I would start with the big cake piece because this is the main part. Position it where you want. Sew all the way around, again, using the top facing loops of a stitch. So for example, if you're going to sew this down, you want to use the top facing loops of the stitch of the square or the blanket or whatever it is you're working on, that, and then the edge all the way along, all of the stitches, the edge pieces, the loops, the stitches across. When you're done, little knot, weave in whatever tail is left. So that puts that down. Then you can sew in your little candles. So whether you've got 1 or 2 or 3, position them where you want, sew all the way around them. Again, make a little knot, weave the tail in underneath. And so I'll, you know what, I'll just pull this to the back so you can sort of see what it looks like without the strings in the way. Also good for demonstration purposes. So that's the candle. I'm also going to get this one out of the way. There we go. Literally just threw my sewing needle across the room. Give me your needle. All right, so that's the cake, the candle in place. Then you can put in the flame too if you want. Like you can do this at the as the third part or the last part. It's entirely up to you. But after you've sort of sewn down your candle, nothing else should be interfering with it. And you can just stick that, put that in place and stitch it down last or next or whatever you want. So I'm just going to put that there so you can sort of get an idea. And then you would stitch down your icing last. And the whole point of this is so that you can just cover the top of, or the bottom edge of your candle, because now it looks like your candle's been sort of stuck into the icing, right? Candles don't sit up on top. They actually want to, like, goodness me, Maria, thank you for picking up a few patterns. Thank you, thank you. They sit into the icing. So this is why you want to put the icing on last. Plus, you can position it over top of the edges so that it's a little overhanging on the right, a little overhanging on the left, or left-right, however you want to look at that. And it just covers the bottom of your candle. So if you've got if it's a little messy, or you've been weaving in tails or something up here, it'll all be hidden and you won't see it. And then you've got like this cute little you've got this cute little cake. Love it, love it, love it. Mr. InStitches with the little thank you there. A big thank you to everybody who has been supporting us by picking up patterns, by becoming a member. If you are a Silker Vicuña member, we recently posted the updated login information on the Posts tab. It used to be called Community, now it's called Posts. Please make sure you take advantage of all of the goodies over on the members only page on our website. So if you're Silker Vicuña level channel family, thank you, thank you, thank you. And the most recent goodie we tucked in there is the Snowy Owl applique pattern. And if you are not a channel member, but you want to support the show by picking up a pattern, today's pattern's great. It's also on sale. Today's sneaky sale, if I didn't mention that. We also have the Snowy Owl applique pattern available in the shop as well, along with all the other little things we've been tucking into this year. So please keep the suggestions coming. I have a list going. So I already have a plan on how the whole year of unblanket canvases are going to unfurl for me, but I want to hear from you guys. Obviously, my perspective on the year is going to look very different than anyone else's, and already the ideas coming in are awesome, and I have a feeling I might be making some extra canvases this year just because I love this project so much, and the ideas from you guys are so much fun. I want to try and get as many in as possible. So a lot of this year's live streams, our live crochet alongs, are going to be fun little appliques, and remember, these can be used on all kinds of projects. Gift bags. Imagine a little gift bag with a birthday cake on it. Not only would that be cute, but it would be a fantastic reusable gift bag for birthdays. So just the sky's the limit. And these are great scrap projects. This year, I really wanted everybody to feel like they could just use up what they had on hand. Goodness me, Cynthia, thank you for picking up a pattern. using up our yarn makes us feel good. It makes us feel like we're, we've already spent the money on our yarn in a lot of cases. Or you've got a lot of little bits left over and you don't really know what to do with them. They're not enough to make like a whole other project. So making up appliques, making up fun multicolored background canvases, this is what this year is all about. It is about, using up what we've got and having so much fun. And I want everybody to just feel like they're painting with yarn. So that is our little cake. I think I will try and get a couple of little mini tutorials out relatively soon for our little bunting and for our little balloon, because I want to be able to have that available for you guys as well. Don't hold your breath. It's kind of a busy week. If you all want to hang out at Frizzy Bee's channel tomorrow, that would be 11 a.m. Pacific or 12 o'clock Eastern. We are going to hang out, the two of us, have a cup of coffee and a little chat over at Frizzy Bee Crochet. And if Frizzy is still in the chat, then hi Frizzy. I will post the link to her live stream. She does have the stream up so that you can click the notify me button and get reminded of it when it comes up tomorrow. And we will see you guys over there for a coffee and a chat. That'll be just lovely. Thank you so much to everybody who picked up today's sneaky sale pattern. I hope you had fun making a cake along with me. And remember, that's a bundle. It includes the main birthday applique pattern, includes the cake, the candle, the flame, the balloon, and the little mini bunting. And there's also a copy of our gift wrap, our wrapped gift, our Christmas present, whatever you want to call it. It's also got a tutorial, and there's a free pattern for that on our website. So if you want a wrapped gift applique, we have a tutorial for that. I'll link it in the description box as soon as I'm done. And we have a free pattern for that over on the website. But just for simplicity's sake, I included it in the bundle as a separate file. You're not paying for it. It's just there just to kind of keep all these sort of like pieces together. So you've got them all in the same place. Yeah, so that's that. I hope you guys had fun, and we will see you guys tomorrow at Frizzy's, and we will see you on Friday for another video. The link to all of the previous unblanket stuff, that playlist will also be down in the description box. I'm going to make sure all those links are there within the next half hour or so. Whenever we kind of finish with a live stream, I like to get into it and make sure that the description box has got all kinds of information. Anything necessary that we talked about during the stream, it'll all be in there. So have yourselves a wonderful afternoon. We'll see you guys tomorrow at Frizzy's. We'll see you on Friday for a new video. And keep those pictures coming to me at the Etsy shop. Go to the Etsy shop, click on message seller, and you can attach a photo either by clicking on the little camera icon at the bottom of your screen if you're on a mobile, or the little landscape icon in the message box. Jerry, thank you. Thank you for picking up the pattern. Thank you so much. That is how you can attach a photo. You've been sending in your January on blankets, the February blankets, even the March on blankets are coming in now. This is so great. So I'm going to have a big surprise, not a surprise, but a couple of big posts to share of people's January and February unblankets because they've been rolling in and they're all fantastic. And I can't wait to share them with you. The inspiration is just off the charts. So lots of fun ahead this week. And I hope you guys are all going to be here for it. Have a wonderful afternoon. We will see you guys very soon. Thanks for hanging out. And happy birthday to all the February birthday babies. Thank you, Janet. Okay, guys, have a great day. Bye-bye.